Well, it's pretty sick outside. It's like kind of breezy, but warm. I hate it when it's too fucking breezy. But, such is a climate cycle. That's climate. Marseille. This is a French TV, the House of Cards. I found it kind of boring. It had like a Gerard Depardieu, and I found it sort of like these are the basic functions of things. And I was thinking of the possibility that it might have had more posturing than the sort of what do you like whoever the fuck wrote that politics thing in the early 2000s. That's sort of just like a philosophical sort of posturing, but it seemed kind of boring. Just like, oh, assassinations. I mean, assassinations are like the most boring part of politics. You got like Kennedy, McKinley, Lincoln, and what's sort of the like commonality between those is basically that they all happened after they got anything done they were gonna get done. Lincoln did the Civil War. Kennedy did his shit. Uh, McKinley didn't really do anything. Bay of Pigs for Kennedy. Uh, so, like, it's obviously gonna be some sort of like alternate history hub. It's gonna be like some sort of sea of counterfactuals centered around that fact. But it's just kind of boring. Like, just because the counterfactuals are based around that sort of discussion, that's actually a sort of boring place to start, because then you can tell that's sort of the sort of 10 cent nickel word sort of paradigm that everybody's going to. You can't really spin that much off of a plot. A good plot would have that as sort of like a wow, it's sort of dumb, but because it's part of like a bigger thing, I think it's smart. Like Gus in Breaking Bad. You know, that moment isn't all that, like, if that was the main sort of point of the show, or like such a main point of that season that you could just like not stand it, then it would just be sort of like, oh, so it's about this. But, it kind of smooths into it, smooths out of it. That's the whole thing. Uh, Next show, The Meyer, some Polish show. It's based around like a murder, and a lot of these shows have like a similar sort of lighting to, there's this Netflix TV show Dark. It just looks bland. It looks like this other movie I saw about like some Danish police operator who saves this woman from being inside of the trunk of her husband, but it turns out as a twist she killed her kid. Kind of like those movies. They just have like a very, not realist in like the American sense of like everything's grimy Transformers, but like a sort of, I don't know, neo-expressionism. Like oh, there's a bunch of trees, so stuff is dark, but it's bright inside. No thank you. I could just watch fucking Fargo. I could just like sit in someone's kitchen at like 6 a.m. Then I'd have as interesting of an experience as that. Fucking Christ. The Spiral. It's a Polish movie this time, made in the 70s, and I found it similar to like The Shining, some shit like that, because it just has this like auspicious character, this like stranger figure, like Clue or something like that. Like, the Goat Man or whatever that sort of story, or in Jewish mythology, there's like in A Serious Man, the prelude to that has some kind of guy visits their home, but the wife is like, oh, he died. So that sort of figure, except I can't think of the particular story, or if there is one, of some guy just like, like kind of a Jesus figure, basically. Of like, hey guys, yo, what up? And then you judge them based on that or something. Like a slasher. A Snow Mountain slasher like Climax. Except Climax is less of a slasher than a dancer. Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Why did I stop watching this one? Well, it just seemed sort of like it would be like a Suspiria, like, oh, problems and problems. It didn't seem like there'd be much like character progression. It just seemed kind of like a fucking bummer, like a Blind Chance, that one Polish movie, also from the genre of moral anxiety, which, it's more interesting. I'd say it's better than the Woody Allen movie inspired by it, or I forget if it's inspired by the Woody Allen movie. I think it is. Yeah, I think it's the other way around. The Velvet Beetle, something like that, where the movies in communist Poland start sort of animating themselves, and everybody's like, fuck, it's going against censorship. Whereas Woody Allen version is a complete reversal of that, so it kind of falls flat, because Woody Allen isn't as good at sort of involving his characters really in the plot. So that was The Spiral. That was the third. The German TV show, Freud. This just seemed fucking dumb. Like, for the history guys who can't read a book. Motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know if this is alternate history, like that Lincoln movie or something, with him fighting vampires. But Freud, he's like this analytical, it's like, I guess, like a German Sherlock. German Sherlock, is that right? I don't know about this. Like, there's this movie about Marx and Engels, I forget, which had like much better sort of feel to it, like the streets of rural Germany, the people being killed and stuff, and like Marx criticizing this guy for child labor, etc. But this movie was just bland. It was like turn of the century sort of, TV series. Sort of didn't know how to place itself. Like, I think maybe it was trying to not look too old or something. 5. Oh, Contagion. I watched the beginning of Contagion. And I was like, okay, cool. It might be hyperlink or something, but I found no interest in it. What, does it take place in like Kowloon? And sure, there's like the sort of plot of it is smart or whatever, but I just thought it was very detached, very serially detached from like one point to the other, which I found important because there wasn't really like a sort of narrative core to it, which is similar to other disaster movies. It's just that other disaster movies you think have a narrative. But yeah, this movie, eh, eh. It's kind of like drab lighting too, because like Soderbergh, he films all of his stuff on like, I believe, just like digital. So I mean, some parts of it look sort of neat in a way, but they weren't really like aided by other parts. Like, particularly, I guess artificial lighting looked better, probably. 6. What is 6? God damn. So many TV shows and movies that I don't be watching. Took place somewhere. Brechtian, was it a Brechtian thing? I don't even fucking know what Brechtian means. Is that like breakfast? Some shit like that? 6. Get on the game, motherfucker. Yo! Oh yeah, Showdown in Little Tokyo. This has like Dolph Lundgren. Now, I was thinking like 2 days ago, you know, I have a good memory for this shit, for bullshit that I intend to categorize and systematize. Like these sort of like 80s movies exist, I think, on like a very natural pull with like 2000s, 2010s political dramas. 90s kind of finesse it just right, where you know, you can have political dramas there that are like actually smart, like what was that one with and Dead Presidents. But so 80s movies, like a lot of your Carpenter movies, sort of Alien, sort of 70s movies even, can have this really like self-centered sort of tunnel-visioned view of things, and they can be much better, I think, than a lot of other movies. You know, movies like They Live, you know, they're straightforward instead of being like, oh, the world is complicated or something. Which, sure, but that's not a very intellectual take, or a very dexterous take either. You know, there's certain takes that it's as important what you're saying as how you're saying it. But Big Trouble in Little Tokyo, I think, just a bit too dumb for me. Just like a secret Asian focused task force. Nah. I did find Dolph Lundgren speaking Japanese slightly funny, and just that guy like killing himself by snapping his own neck. That was also funny. 7 fucking shit. What was the movie called? 7. God damn it. God damn you, Harry. Why can't you remember shit? You anus muffler. You dog. You cane wilder. You cane toad. You pimpled wart. You scallywag. You dastardly dope. You dim-witted dillet. You dashing darky. Okay, I take that last one back. 7 and 8 were something or another. Man, shit. Hopefully this gets better, because this is just brain damage. Permanent brain damage. Come on, Harry, what countries did they come from? What time of day, of year, of time? What time of time? Well, you see, what time of time was it? It was time o'clock at, inauspicious feeling? Time o'clock at inauspicious feeling? How do you know that for sure? Well, you see, Doctor... Wait. Oh, good. So I can look at the list. Can I not? Fuck's sake. Okay, so the Meyer, the Spiral, Freud, Marseille, Big Trouble in Little Tokyo, Contagion, and 7 and 8 were, shit. Cursed Artifact. This is a cursed artifact. This is now a movie where I get killed. Because I forgot to remember what I was, the TV shows I had to talk about. 7 and 8. 7 and 8, what were they, goddammit? If you persevere, you can find out. So fuck around and find out. Yeah, damn. Motherfucker. Sure, you wanna kiss my ass? If I could kiss your ass, I would kiss you good. Because I wanna be deep in your asshole. This is just garbage. Fuck. This is called foresight. You should have had foresight. You should have had foresight and not hindsight. Because you're looking, your head is up your ass. Shit. Hindsight means that your head is up your ass. Hindsight means this won't be the last time you fuck with me. Big Trouble in Little Tokyo. Okay, this is 4 wasted minutes. No, that's cool. Okay, so diversion. This chocolate bar has a lot of protein. What do you think protein is made of? Balls. So on that note, 2 related movies. Fish Story and fucking Oh Lucky Man. Oh Lucky. Both have like a song in them. That's a commonality. And what a great commonality. Both have like these bands in them, these sort of diegetic bands doing whole entire songs for them. And it's tight, let me tell you. One pattern that I've seen, that fuck's sake. You know, setup and payoff, right? So I was looking at Breaking Bad, or Better Call Saul. Newest episode, there's like Mike points at something. He's like, what's that? And the audience kind of wants to know. And then the officer like says, oh, this? Yeah, that. Setup and payoff. They know about something in the world that you don't know. That's some real shit, dude. Genre. I don't think it was a 90s movie. What the fuck are you doing? There's an ant on my screen. And fuck it, I'm done. Fucking Christ. Unappreciated by my own brain.